everyone, welcome to another Science Club session. My name's Teresa and thank you for joining me today. So the two activities I'm looking at today, one is the propagating of seeds, so you can start your own seed library. You can always then have seeds ready for popping in your veggie patch. So today I'll just be showing you pumpkin seeds, capsicum and tomato. You can also go on to our website and you can Google to see what seeds you can plant at different times of the year. So you might want to do some cucumber. So basically what I've got here is just what's been left over from vegetables and fruit that I have brought from the supermarket. But I'm going to use the seeds and dry them out, and then eventually I'll be able to plant them out in my veggie patch and I'll be able to grow fresh produce in my own yard, save me going down to the supermarket. So there's a few steps. So what I'll do is I'll start with tomatoes. Now I've got 3 trays here because you will need to let the seeds dry out. Some will dry quicker than others, some will take a little bit longer. So you could be looking at from anything from a few days to maybe a week or a little bit longer. The other things I have here are some tweezers, which are really handy. I also have a spoon and I have just a small container of just warm water out of the tap. So I'll do the tomatoes first. Okay. So these are just the Romano tomatoes, but you can use whatever ones mum or dad buys from the shop, that's fine. Now with the tomatoes, you'll probably notice that when you cut them, the seeds are in like a liquid, a gel. So what you need to do with those is just scoop the seeds into the warm water. Just out of the tap, it doesn't need to be boiled from a kettle. You can pop in as many as you like. You can get different types of tomatoes. You can get your nice big ones. You can get the cherry tomatoes. There's all sorts. Okay. Then what you need to do is just give it a bit of a stir in the warm water just to try and break up the seeds a bit from in the gel. The warm water helps dissolve that. You might not get all of it off. That's fine. Then once you're happy with that, you then need to get the water out of the container. Now, you might need to do this a couple of times. In the past, I've done this over a couple of days. So feel free to let this cool, and they're okay to sit in the water for a day, and then maybe replace the water with another lot of warm water and just give them a bit of a stir. You can see that they're breaking up. Okay. All right, I might just let them sit for a minute and I'll give them another bit of a stir later. Okay. Now the next one I'm going to have a look at is pumpkin seeds. So what I'll need to do here, just a bit of paper towel. Just cut that. And I'm going to sit this in the bottom of the containers. Or you can use paper plates. It's another option. The tomato, I'll need one for the tomatoes as well. Paper towel or a serviette's fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my little trusty tweezers and pick pick up the pumpkin, and I'm just going to scoop out the seeds like so. Okay, let's put a few more in there. Now if you've got brothers and sisters that want to do this with you, that's great. You can maybe work on different seeds. Now I'm just going to spread them out a little bit. You don't need to wash them, that's fine. So I'll just put them on the paper towel, and there we go, and just spread them out like so, and then that's all you need to do for the pumpkins. You can just let the seeds dry, keep an eye on them. They may take a couple of days, but just let them dry naturally. You don't need to put them out in the sun or anything like that. You can just leave them on the bench or even on the windowsill is fine. I'll just give the tomatoes a bit more of a stir. Okay. There we go. Now, capsicum. As you can see, there's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of little seeds in there. So, capsicums, chilies is another good one if you like chilies, if you like nice hot and spicy foods. You can do chili as well. I'll just grab another pair of tweezers, and same thing as I did with the pumpkin seeds is I just scrape them in. Okay. Okay. Now, just a reminder, if you do remove the chili seeds or capsicum seeds, if you don't have tweezers, you can use a small teaspoon, that's fine. Just keep in mind though, if you do touch them with your fingers, it's a good idea not to rub your eyes after you've handled the seeds, and you can probably guess why. So when you've sorted out all your seeds, good idea to go and wash your hands straight away, otherwise you could end up with not so nice stinging happening in your eyes. So that's the chili seeds. So same with those, they'll just sit to the side and they will dry out in a day or two. You can tell when they've dried. They get the chilies get like a little edge, a slightly darker colour around the outside of the seeds, and the pumpkins, they go a bit lighter once they're dried out. Okay, so with the tomatoes seeds, like I said, you can do this over a couple of days, but I won't be doing that today. I'll just try and get out as much water as possible. Now you more than likely will lose some seeds, but that's okay. If you do it into a container like I'm doing, you can probably just scoop them out with the spoon once you've done. Okay, well, they don't look too bad actually. Alright. Now these may take a little bit longer to dry because of the water that may still be in the container. So same with the tomatoes. I'm just going to pop them in onto some paper towel and just spread them out a little bit. These are a little bit more fiddly, and when they do dry, you might find that they're a little bit harder to get off the paper towel. They may stick a little bit. Again, just practice. It might take you a couple of shots to get a good amount. Okay. All right. So, as you can see, the paper towel's wet, but that's fine. That will dry out, and the tomato seeds will dry out as well. So you just pop them to the side, let them dry out, and then once they've done that, what you'll need to do is get some airtight bags. I've just got these little tiny ones, but you can get your sandwich seal bags, similar thing with the seal on the top. And then what you need to do is once they've dried, you will write on the bag what the seed is. Maybe put the month that you make the seeds up, just so you've got a bit of a time frame. Some seeds will last quite some time. Others, you'll only get 12 months out of them, so you may need to do just a little bit of research to see how long they will last. But the name of the seed and the month that you dried them out and packaged them up. Once you've done that, make sure it's nice and airtight. Seal up your little container, and then you can just pop them aside, and then they're good to go. When you're ready to plant your seeds, you can do a few things. You can get some seed raising mix, and if you use empty egg cartons and just individual bits, put some seed raising mix in and pop your seeds in, cover them, keep them watered, and once they've started to grow, you can then, instead of taking the seed raising mix out of the egg carton, you can just plant the whole egg carton into the ground, because that will then turn into a compost. It will break down, and then your plants will continue to grow from there. Once you've got them grown and they're ready to be picked, you can do the same process over again. So keep in mind, there's lots of other seeds that you can use. You've got beans, you've got peas, corn's always a good one, and then you've got cucumbers. So there's lots and lots out there. Again, just check for the time of year for them to be planted, just so you get the best result. Okay, so this will all, what's left, will all go out into the compost bin. So I'll just clear a bit of this, ready for the next activity. Now, this next activity is seed flower bombs. Okay, and this one can get rather messy. So if you can do it outside, that's probably a good thing. But if you can't, just do what I've done here. I've just put down lots of newspaper, and I've also got something down on the floor to catch any soil that I may drop. Okay, so for this activity, I've just got some water here, and I've just got a scoop that I use out of the washing powder, or you can use a cup, measuring cup. If you have one, that's fine as well. I might use this one. I'll just dry that out. Okay, so for this activity, you'll need a second bowl. Stick that into there. And you will need some potting mix, which I've got up here. And I'm just going to put 2 scoops of potting mix in there. Okay. And then down here on the floor, because it's a bit heavy for me to pick up and put up on the table, I've got a bag of organic mulch, or compost, sorry, not mulch, compost. So I'm just going to put a few scoops here, maybe, so I'll do 2 soil, so I'll do 4 of these. Okay, like so. Then I'll just give it a bit of a mix like this. Okay, now mix that in nice like that. Then what I'm going to get is I'm going to get some flower seeds. So these are marigolds. Just cut that off. Now, tip that in there. Oh wow! Some marigold seeds. And this one is a rockery mixture, so it's got lots of nice, pretty, colourful flowers in there. You can pick these up at the supermarket. You can. Okay, and I'm going to tip them in there as well. All right. Now, just give that a bit of a mix. So mixing the compost and the seeds through. Now I may have just a little bit too much compost in here, but that's okay. All right, now, the fun part. So, just with your container, what you're going to do is when you've got that all nice and mixed up, I'm going to add a bit of water, like so. Okay. And then you're going to mix that all together. If you've got gloves and you want to wear gloves, you can do that as well, that's fine. Okay, a bit like mixing up a cake mix. Okay. Just do a little bit of water at a time because you don't want to put in too much. A bit like mixing a cake. Okay. Give it a good stir, get the seeds through it. Okay, that's probably not too bad. So, one way of checking that it's mixing up okay is to just grab a little bit, like so. It's probably not wet enough. Okay, and what you need to do is make some round shaped balls. There we go, you can do all different sizes. Okay, now if you've got a tray, I suggest you pop them on a tray. It is nice and messy, but it is good fun. Okay, then make up all your mix. Get all that happening. Then when you've made up all the mix with your seed and your potty mix and compost, you need to then let these dry. So the quicker they dry, the better, but if it's not a sunny day, there's not much you can do. But if you put them on a tray, or if you've got a table outside that you're using and you've got some newspaper down like this, you just let them sit there and they need to dry out completely. If the sun is out, of course they will dry a lot quicker because the sun will help set them. Then once they've dried, what you can do is you can then bomb them, throw them into your garden. Check with mum and dad if they have a spot that they would like them to go, or you can keep them and then next time you're able to go and visit your grandparents or a friend's place, you might be able to grab them and just throw them off into the garden. And then what will happen when people water their gardens, or if you're at home and you've got them in your garden and you water the garden, these will eventually break down and then the seeds will then germinate and the plants will grow and you'll have a nice colour assortment of flowers that will just pop up at some stage. Time frame will depend and it can vary on, again, where you've put them, how big they are, and of course the process for them to break down when they're watered. So there you go. All right, so you can make up as many of those and you can get lots of different types of flowers and you just mix that all up together. I've just got a bit of water here to do a bit of a clean before I do a proper clean. Okay, rinse all that off. That'll do for now until I can wash my hands properly with some soap and water. And there you have it. So I hope you have fun doing those. These are great. You can do these at any time. You can hide them and then just wait to see what comes up. And if they've been there for a little while, you might even forget that they're there. But eventually they will, the seeds will sprout and you will get your beautiful flowers coming up. So have some fun with that. Have a go at propagating some seeds to get your own veggie patch going. Once they do grow, you've got lovely fresh veggies at the ready, and you can continue that on once you've got it started. So you can always have something growing in the veggie patch. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I know I have. And I will see you all next time for Science Club. Thanks everybody. Bye.